Hey everyone, it's Dr. Zaina from Prep Doctors, and in this video I'm going to be giving you everything you need to know about the INBDE exam. So let's start. Just an overview about this video, I'm going to be breaking it down to three main sections. The first one is what is the INBDE exam, explained in different sections such as who can take this exam, where you can take it, the schedule for administration, what it consists of, the type of questions and format, the scoring system, the eligibility requirements, and how many times can you take this exam. As for the second part of the video, how to register for the INBDE, I'm going to be talking about who accepts the INBDE, following up with the CAAPID applications, the DENTPIN process, ECE, applying to take the INBDE, and booking your exam. The third section of the video is going to be how to prepare for the INBDE, the study resources available, in addition to the Prep Doctors platform for preparing for the INBDE. I just want to mention that all the references that I'm going to be talking about and including in my video will be included in the description below, so make sure you check those out. Starting with, what is the INBDE exam? The INBDE stands for Integrated National Board Dental Examination. The purpose of this exam is basically it's the written component of the American board exam. The governing body is the JCNDE, the Joint Commission on National Dental Examinations, in collaboration with the Department of Testing Services, the DTS. This exam has replaced the previously known as the NBDE Part 1 and Part 2. Before, it used to be two exams. The NBDE Part 1 was done as early as first or second year of your dental school, and Part 2 was in the third or fourth years. And starting August 1st of 2020, the Integrated National Board Dental Exam replaced those two parts into one exam. Who can take this exam? Basically, anyone who wants to take it can take it from anywhere around the world, whether you're a dentist or dental student from a non-accredited dental program or you're from an accredited dental program, then you can take this exam. The purpose, however, to take it is different, because if you're from an accredited program, which means you graduated from North American University with a DDS degree, that means that you're taking this exam as your board exam to be able to practice in America. Whereas if you're an international dentist, studied abroad, not in America or Canada, the purpose of this exam is for entry into advanced standing programs as an international dentist to get your dental license, which is 2 years in a university in America to practice. I'm going to elaborate more on that step, but this is just a brief idea of who can take this exam. Now, where can you take it? It's offered at the Prometric centers across Canada and America only. When it comes to Prometric, I'm going to be talking about this in further detail later in the video to explain the Prometric Center website and all that stuff. The INBDE examination schedule. Now, this table highlights the schedule exactly. Day 1 is 8 hours and 15 minutes long with the scheduled breaks, and day 2 is 4 hours and 15 minutes long, making it a total of 12 hours and 30 minutes. This exam is taken over 2 days. They don't have to be in consecutive days. However, these 2 days have to be a maximum 7 days apart, and they have to be in the same test center. If you fail to do that, then you have to retest your day 1. Now, what does the INBDE exam consist of? The content of this exam is explained in detail in a guide under INBDE Item Development Guide available through the JCNDE website. This exam is under what's called the domain of dentistry. Just to make it easier, it basically summarizes everything an entry-level dentist needs to know before they start practicing, which means that it's a combination of the clinical and the basic science application. Now, before, NBDE Part 1 used to be more of basic sciences questions, and NBDE Part 2 used to be the more clinical part. But in the INBDE, they combined it both and made it in a way that each question has both components in it. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. The clinical content area, which is composed of 3 sections: the diagnosis and treatment plan, the practice and profession, and the oral health management. That's a clinical part of the exam. And the foundation knowledge area, which is 10 components. The clinical content are 56 areas, and they basically cover the competencies expected from an entry-level dentist. There are specific tables for each area that is going to be included in the exam or can come from the exam. So for example, the diagnosis and treatment planning section, it's going to be questions asking about giving a diagnosis, treatment plans, in addition to, for example, prognosis, treating complications, and their managements. Those are mostly from case-based questions, whereas the oral health management part, it's about patient awareness, education, and disease prevention. And the practice and profession part is about practice management, ethics, professionalism, and the standard of care in dentistry. As for the foundation knowledge areas, they are 10 in total, and they are highlighted in this table. The question can come from anything from pharmacology to physiology or even pathology. The INBDE questions are all MCQ. There are 500 questions in total. Each question has 3 to 5 answers that you choose from, and there's only one correct answer. Out of those 500 questions, 300 are standalone items, which means a question, the options, that's it. 200 of those 500 questions, however, are item sets, which are mostly case-based. So what you get is a patient box, you get the dental chart, maybe some information about the patient, and then you get a few questions to follow up with that patient information. Before, in NBDE Part 1, that was mostly standalone items, and NBDE Part 2 used to be more cases questions. Now they've combined it to be day 1 now mostly is the standalone items, at the end a little bit of cases, and day 2 is mainly the cases questions as well. So what is the patient box that I just mentioned? The patient box is a standard box of information that comes a lot in the exam. It's good to familiarize yourself with this format. It's divided into 4 main sections: the patient information, the chief complaint, patient history, and current findings. The questions asked about this patient box can be anything. For example, you'll get the patient box, you might get the dental chart, you might get some x-rays, maybe a prescription, not necessarily all of them, but some follow-up information will come. You'll get asked 3 to 6 follow-up questions on this information. And all this, like I said, is mostly in day 2. So scoring of this exam is based on scale scores, not the raw scores. It's the overall scale score of your performance on the clinical and the foundation knowledge areas. And it's reported between 49 to 99 out of 100. The passing score is 75. The report is a pass or fail. So you won't actually get the number that you scored. There is no negative marking for this exam, so if, let's say, you're running out of time, don't leave anything unanswered. As for the results, they are usually reported 3 to 4 weeks after taking your exam, and they will show up on the My Account page on your DENTPIN. And just to mention, when you are reporting your results to the schools are able to see all your attempts for the exam, so try to pass it from the first time. So for eligibility, this is divided into accredited programs and non-accredited dental programs. For accredited, if you're a dental student, you're still in school, all you have to do is provide a letter from the dean of your school stating that you're enrolled in this program and confirming your information. If you're a graduate from an accredited program, easy registration, nothing extra is required from you. If you are a dental student from a non-accredited dental school, which means you haven't graduated yet, there is an additional form that you need to send to the JCNDE, which is the certification of eligibility. It's a document, it's a piece of paper that you need to print out, fill, signed by your dean's office, and mailed directly to the JCNDE office. There is a link in the description as well to retrieve this form. Both current students and graduates of non-accredited dental schools have to provide ECE reports, which means they have to send in their transcripts and provide a ECE report confirming their education. So under the JCNDE, there's a 5-year or 5-attempt eligibility rule. Candidates must pass the examination within 5 years of their first attempt or 5 examination attempts, whichever comes first. However, If you exhaust those 5 attempts or the 5th year passes, then you have to wait 12 months after your most recent examination to do the test again. Also, between every attempt, you have to wait at least 60 days. The maximum you can do this exam is 4 times during a 1-year period. If you're someone who has done the NBDE Part 1 or Part 2 in the past and you haven't been able to pass it, the good news is that the number of attempts for the NBDE Part 1 and Part 2 won't count. However, in the results report to the schools, the results of those exams will be included as well. We've reached part 2 of the video, which is how to register for the INBDE exam. I'm going to be breaking it down for you in the simplest way possible. Before you register, make sure you read the official candidate guide. Go over it very thoroughly. It'll give you all the information and the requirements needed for you to apply for this exam. What you see here is the Integrated National Board Dental Examination Candidate Guide. This is the latest version, the 2023. You can find this guide on the JCNDE website, and I also included the link in the description. It's going to give you everything about this exam, the content, the results, the requirements, and the regulations. So make sure you read this very, very well. Administration schedule and fees. This table highlights the fees needed to take the INBDE, whether you're from an accredited or non-accredited school, in addition to any auditing fees and reporting fees. So the standard fee to take this exam is $845 USD, and if you're from a non-accredited school, you're going to add that additional fee to that. If you want to order more reports or if you want to audit, then it's additional fee as well. Now, who accepts the INBDE? If you're an international dentist trying to get into the advanced placement program in the US, the programs that accept the INBDE are listed on the CAAPID directory. The CAAPID stands for Centralized Application for the Advanced Placement of International Dentists, specifically service made to simplify the process of applying to all these schools in the US. So whether you want to apply to 1 school or 10 schools, it has to be done through CAAPID. If you're applying to the Advanced Standing Program in the US, I recommend that CAAPID be the first place you visit before you even take your INBDE exam. Every program is going to show you what are the requirements to apply for it. You need to know ahead of time the deadlines for each program so you can plan accordingly. This is the CAAPID application website. This website is very important if you are an international dentist trying to apply to universities in the US. The INBDE itself is very important. Also, the CAAPID application portal and filling out your CAAPID application is as important. So this is the CAAPID website, adea.org/CAAPID app, and you can see everything you need from the CAAPID information, the cycle. I'm going to take you to the program directory. This is going to show you all the universities in the US included in the CAAPID application process. If you click on any university, for example, this one, it's going to take you to exactly the program length, application time and deadline, the program size, how many people get accepted every year, and in addition to the requirements needed for you to apply. So for example, here it says TOEFL and a fee. They're going to need an ECE evaluation, letters of evaluation, and the board's requirement. So it says here Part 1 and Part 2, or the INBDE. If you want to apply, just have a brief idea of which universities that you want to apply to. Go to each one, read about requirements they have. When is the deadline to apply as well? It's very important. It's going to help you a lot to plan ahead. After you figure out which programs you're going to apply to and you have managed to clear your INBDE exam, you have everything ready, then you're going to start your CAAPID application. I'm just going to show you a quick look on how the application portal is going to look. So you're going to go to Applicants and Apply to CAAPID. And this is the account that you need to make in order to submit everything there. So your INBDE, your letters, your resume, all that stuff is going to be asked here. And then at the end, you're going to choose the programs that you want to apply to, the universities, and it's all going to be sent to them through one application. So to register for the INBDE, step 1 is going to be create a DENTPIN. DENTPIN stands for Dental Personal Identification Number. It's your ID through the whole process. If you're going to apply to any of the ADA governed exams, such as the INBDE, the ADAT, the DAT, you're going to need the same DENTPIN for all these applications. So to create a DENTPIN, you're going to go to ada.org and look for DENTPIN. If you've already created one, you can retrieve it. So I'm going to create one just for you now. If you are currently attending a dental school, you can click this, but if you're not, no need, and then submit. And that's it. That's how you get your DENTPIN number. You're going to hold on to this for the future because you're going to need it to access any information you need about the INBDE exam, such as your results, your information, the status of your application, all that. The second step after creating your DENTPIN is going to be register with ECE. You want to create an ECE report that is going to be used to evaluate your credentials from your university. If you're an international dentist applying for the advanced standing program, the ECE will evaluate your documents and it will transform it into the equivalent of American grades. This step is only needed if you are an international dentist, if you graduated from anywhere outside Canada or America. There are two services known to do this credential evaluation: the WES, the World Education Services, and the ECE, Educational Credential Evaluation. Programs differ whether they require the WES or the ECE, but I could say more than 90%, almost to 100% of the programs require the ECE. Go back to the CAAPID directory that I showed you, and you'll find whether they need ECE or WES or either. To get your ECE report, you're going to go to ece.org and you're going to click on Credential Evaluation, Applicants to U.S. Institutions. You can read a bit about the steps that are going to be involved in creating the report. The website is very, very brief and straightforward. And then you're going to click on Apply Now. So I'm going to log into my account and I'm going to create a US application. So 3 steps here that you have to complete. The first one has your personal information, institution delivery, purpose of evaluation, and report type. Type in your information quickly, the reason you are ordering the report. You can say, I have documents to evaluate, for example, how many copies you need, fill out your personal information. And click continue. The institution receiving the ECE report is the JCNDE. You're going to save delivery and then you're going to go continue. What is the purpose for ordering a report? Further education. You can say whether you're undergrad or graduate. Field of study, dentistry, and continue. Now the type of report, if you're just doing the INBDE, then you can select a general report. But if you are applying to any of the American universities, you're going to need a course-by-course report. The best option is to select course-by-course anyways, just in case you don't make 2 reports in the end. So this is the safer option, and select continue. The second step is the education history and your required documents. You're gonna be adding all of your education, whether it's your undergrad or any master's degree. And save your history. Now you can add more than one, but for now I'm just gonna keep it like this and then click on continue. This is a very important step. Read this word by word, whichever country you graduated from. So I put in Lebanon. It's showing me which documents that I need to send. How am I going to send them? So for example, diploma, grade report, my high school diploma, which type of document needs to be sent, in a sealed envelope or not, the language, whether it's in English or not, then you need to translate it. Your document should be in a sealed envelope. And once you read everything, you're gonna click on continue. And this is the mailing information and the email, whether it's electronic or by mail. Save this and continue. Now, step number 3 is the payment and reviewing your application. So I'm gonna choose no rush service. You're gonna read the customer agreement, sign electronically, and submit. The last step is gonna be payment. Just put in your payment and you're set. After you complete your report request, the status is going to be listed on your ACE account. You can see whether it's still processing or if your report is ready or whether the report has been sent to the JCNDE yet or not. Once the JCNDE receives your ACE report request, they're going to review your documents, they're going to generate the report, and it's going to show that the report is ready and it has been sent to the JCNDE. Now, third step, which is apply to take the INBDE. So the nice thing about the exam is that you have the flexibility to book your exam anytime in the year. The application cycle is open year-round, so you can choose the time that's right for you. To apply for the INBDE, you're gonna go back to the JCNDE website and you're gonna start your application. It's gonna take you to the DENTPIN page. The DENTPIN that you created earlier, you're gonna put it there and put in your password. You're gonna just check your information if there's any updates and click on continue. Now, education status, a dental student or dentist from accredited or non-accredited dental program. Choose the year you graduated. Have you taken this exam before? Continue. You get up to 3 free copies. So you can choose 3 for free. Anything more than that's going to be additional cost on the $1,195. So I'm going to choose 3 schools for now, and then I'm going to click continue. These are the schools that I'm sending my INBDE results to, the total cost of my application, and I'm going to click on continue. You can read and consent, and then put in your name and continue. The last thing is going to be the payment. So make sure you use your card correctly and then you can submit your payment and you're set. So once you have completed your payment for the application, your application will be in the processing phase. Once it is complete, you will get an email with the eligibility ID saying that your application is accepted and now you can book your exam seat. Which leads us to step number 4 in the registration process, which is scheduling your exam. To schedule your exam, it's going to be through prometric.com. You cannot do this step, like I said, before you get the eligibility ID and confirmation. So I'm going to be just showing you briefly how to navigate this website, and then you're going to go to INBDE, then you're going to choose Integrated National Dental Board Exam. To schedule your exam, you're going to be choosing schedule. I'm going to be choosing Canada, let's say Ontario, and you're going to click next. You can read all the eligibility requirements and then click continue, consent again, and next. This ID is going to be in your email confirmation once your application for the INBDE is reviewed and evaluated. You're going to put in the number here, the first 4 characters of your last name. Now it's not going to allow me because I don't have an eligibility ID yet, but the steps after this are going to be appointment selection, the test center selection, put in the postal code of the area that you wish to test nearby, and it's going to show you all the nearby locations. Once you confirm your appointment, you're going to get an email with all the information about the test center, where it's located, what time you have to be there, and all that. So that's it for how to register for the INBDE. I'm going to be moving on now to part 3, which is how to prepare for the INBDE exam. The JCNDE as a resource has only released INBDE practice questions PDF. This is basically 43 questions in total. It's there to just give the candidate an idea of the questions, the format, how the patient box looks like, the options, It's not really a studying reference, but it does give an idea. So it's nice to go over this before you start studying. So for example, in this question, it says FK 1, 4, and 6 and CC 5, 1, and 7. What this means is that this question is derived or taken from the foundation knowledge 1, 4, and 6, if you remember the table that I showed you earlier in this video, and the clinical content of 5, 1, and 7. The questions are going to have foundation knowledge areas and clinical content areas. This one, for example, patient box associated with sample questions 3, 4, and 5. So it tells you that the same patient box is going to be having these questions for it. The key stands for the correct answer. So for here, for example, the answer is going to be A. And there's only one answer for each question. So another thing to check out before you start preparing is the JCNDE website page. Just a little bit of information from them about preparation, the practice questions, checklist, fact sheets, a webinar explaining the INBDE, other resources as well. So you should definitely take a look at that and study those questions, but that's not enough to prepare for this exam. You need a solid certified platform to prepare for this exam. Now, the need is different between people. Some dentists need a more comprehensive approach to study for this exam, especially if they have finished dental school a long time ago and need a very thorough explanation of every topic and subject. And some people just need to solve as many questions as they can in order to feel prepared for this exam. That's why Prep Doctors has released the INBDE full course and the INBDE test builder. The INBDE full course is everything you need to prepare for this exam, from comprehensive lectures with the replays, in addition to quizzes, mock exams. Also, to mention, if you subscribe to the full course, then you'll have automatically a 1-year access to the test builder as well. You'll also get the full study materials. That way you don't have to go look around. You just have to study and do your part. This course is 4 months long and it's conducted 3 times a year. And I'm going to be going through the website to show you exactly what it includes. When you go to prepdoctors.com, you're going to see the 2 options available to prepare for the INBDE. We have the full course and we have the test builder. So the full course, if you go in, you're going to see the duration, the price, the future course as well, the topics covered. It's going to have lectures, quizzes, mock exams, passing guarantee, of course, and 12 months access to the test builder. The second option for those who don't want the comprehensive method of preparing, they just want as many questions as possible. That's why Prep Doctors has created a test builder option. It's not just question and answer. It's not just a PDF. It's actually a platform to create your own quizzes. The test builder is our online platform to prepare for the exam. It has all the questions in the database. We also have a free trial option for you to be able to go in and test it out yourself. If you already have an account, you can go to the login and you can launch your course. It's going to show you the tutorial, course material, test builder, cases, and mock exams. The test builder is the main platform that we have to create customized quizzes. The unique thing about this test builder is that you have a create test option, you have a test history, and you have an overall performance. To create a test, you can choose anything. So you can mix and match between any of the clinical science or basic science topics. For example, I'll choose perio, radio, and oral surgery. You can even customize the subtopics that you want to do. And for basic sciences, I'm going to choose dental anatomy and biochemistry. And then this dashboard, you can select between unused questions you haven't done or any of the incorrect if you want to redo your incorrect questions. Fully customizable level of difficulty, let's say medium. And the study mode, I'll choose timer mode if you want to time yourself. You can change the name of your test, the number of questions that you want to do, and then you're going to click on create test. This is the test that I've created. I have about 49 minutes, almost 50 minutes to complete this section. This is the question, for example. I'm going to click on an answer. You can highlight this question. So When you move on, it's going to show in highlighted if you want to come back to it later. The study mode is what shows this option here. Because I put study mode on, then I'm able to see the explanation right away as I'm solving this question. So the right answer is B, and this is the explanation to my answer. Then I'm going to go next. I'm going to solve one more question, highlight. You can clear your timer at any time as well. And then next, you can go back. Once you go back, you can see your answer, if it's correct or not. Now I'm going to finish this test, I'm going to submit it, and immediately you're going to get a report of your test. You're going to see the question solved. So I have one right question, I have one wrong question. You can go back and review it and see the explanation, why you were correct, why you didn't solve it right. This is the unanswered questions that I skipped. The time that it took you to solve, this way you can track yourself. The difficulty of this quiz was a medium. The second thing you can do here is your test history. So this is the latest test I just took, and you can review all your tests at any time and also view your overall performance. Once you feel like you are hitting the 75% score, then that is a safer place for you to be, closer to your exam. And you can see your overall performance based on sections, clinical science and basic science. You can see 63%, 32% here, and based on the topics as well. So you can see which topics that you have performed well in, which topics you're weaker at, and study accordingly. So that's it for the INBDE exam. I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel in addition to our other social platforms at Prep Doctors on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. You can use my code as well in the description for 10% off our test builder or full course. For more information, visit our website at prepdoctors.com. I wish you guys all the best of luck, and I'll see you in the next video.